Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. Today, League One, match round 34, day 34. If you don't care about all the matches, look below, there are timestamps, but I highly advise you watch all of them because we're kind of a full piece sort of thing. We're like a Led Zeppelin. You gotta listen for songs 1 to 6. You can't just pick and choose. Incidentally, the matches aren't in order either, so like if you try, it's not worth it. Anyway, without further ado, we're gilding the lily. Ian! Oh, you know what? I'm going to lead in the first match because it's that awful town from near here, Wycombe Wanderers, versus the third best club in Liverpool, Tranmere Rovers.
Unfortunately, that annoying little town down the M40 are doing very well. They've got their mojo back and they're picking up points. Certainly at home as well, they're doing very, very well. Though they did get an away win, although it was against Bolton. So does it really count? I'm not sure. Nope. You would have their favourable run of games for Wycombe. I think they've been playing all the sides in and around the bottom. So this one, you would think it'd be a nice, easy home win for them, as much as it hurts and it grates on my soul every time I back them. I'm going to back Wycombe to win this quite comfortably. I'm going 3-0.
Ian, I think something's happened to you. Do you know you're on very biased opinions, not very honest opinions, not very hard thought opinions, not very good opinions? Very biased opinions.
Yes, Thomas, I do know that.
You're letting the channel down, Ian. Letting the channel down.
Oh, that's painful. That's painful coming from you.
Wycombe have definitely gotten their mojo back. Tranmere have never had a mojo this season. They are probably going down.
Never recovered from selling Norwood. Literally, it's just like the whole season pinned on him going to Ipswich, and they've just never recovered.
2-0 Wycombe.
Fucking hell, it made me a load of shit. The greatest city on earth, Lincoln City, versus Gillingham.
So, Gillingham are coming off a good victory against Doncaster Rovers. Doncaster, who are doing what they've done all season, where they pick up 3 or 4 wins, they fill you with faith, they get just outside, and then they crash way down with speed. Lincoln City, on the other hand, did exactly what they should do, and they lost their last match. But my God, was it a thriller. Honestly, haven't seen the highlights, so I can't comment on what play was like, but 4-3 with Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley scored 4 goals. When was the last time that happened?
I know. And it was a game that swung as well, because it was like, I think Accrington took the lead, Lincoln went 2-1 up, and it was a just crazy back and forth game.
I mean, if we're being totally honest, only Lincoln City could make Accrington Stanley look that good. What?
I was just going to say it's very, very Appleton. Like,
yeah, it's very
like swashbuckling and open, and I can just imagine. I haven't seen the highlights of it either, but I can just imagine it was like players trying to play out from the back and getting caught in possession.
Ah, the Oxford special.
Yeah.
As good a job as Appleton is doing at Lincoln City, which hands down he is. He's a manager I like. He's obviously a manager you like. He's had a good career. It's Lincoln City, so. They're obviously not going to win a game. So we'll go Gillingham 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to back Gillingham too. I mean, Lincoln, they are just getting through to the end of the season now. It's a transitional period. We'll see what Appleton can do with them next season. But, they've just come up from League 2, so not so bad to just have a mediocre season in League 1. Gillingham have been really good. They've sort of gone under the radar a lot bit. I think they're a long unbeaten run now they're on, and they're getting more wins now than draws, and they're really just outside the playoffs, but probably only a couple of points just outside, I would imagine.
7.
And I think Lincoln will win this as well. As much as that pains me, I'm going to match your score, 2-1 Gillingham. What are we? Shrewsbury, Doncaster, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you touched a little bit on Doncaster being ridiculously inconsistent, and they come up against probably the most boring side in the whole history of football. So what can you expect in this one? I'm not a big fan of Doncaster Rovers, and I'm not a big fan of Darren Moore, and I'm going to continue to say that on every single episode. Come at me, Doncaster fans. And I think this is going to be a turgid win for Shrewsbury, Thomas. Well, I think didn't they have a high-scoring game the other week, Shrewsbury? No. I must have dreamt
it. Pompey.
I must have dreamt it. 1-0 Shrewsbury.
Yeah, Ian, do you remember the last time Shrewsbury won?
Did they beat Liverpool in the FA Cup? Did they beat them in the replay in the FA Cup?
Nope.
Then I'm going to say Christmas 2010.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've just gone through 10 straight matches where they've either drawn or lost. I don't know how you can predict a win for a club like this that refused to win. The most honest answer is it's probably a 1-1 draw. But my Bells are going to pull it out against this turgid, disgusting, deceitful, slow Shrewsbury side that don't even deserve to play football. They are lucky, I say, to still be in the league. Somehow, some miracle has happened for them to be 12 points above the relegation zone. But literally, for the good of the country, I need Boris Johnson to step in and relegate them. Official government decision, they're out. Bring Barry back, I don't care. They've been more entertaining this season than that Shrewsbury Town has been. It's going to be 1-0 to Doncaster Bells.
I'm basing it off logic and science, Tom, of two things: that a broken clock is right twice a day, and that eventually even a blind monkey finds a nut. Sunderland versus Bristol Rovers.
Well, I don't really have any Bristol Rovers jokes for today. Doesn't really seem worth it right now. They are...
They won the last game.
Yeah, against Blackpool. I mean, like, even Oxford beat Blackpool.
I've got more. You know who they didn't beat, though, Tom? Sunderland.
Well, I think Sunderland are going to beat this Bristol Rovers side. Sunderland looked good against Oxford United. They played with a lot of heart. They ground out a 1-0 win. That's important. Parkinson finally seems to be having a pretty positive effect on his players. Hashtag Parkinson in. And I'm just going to go for a 3-0 victory to Sunderland.
Yeah, the fact that you put nil is what I'm going to talk about with Sunderland. I think that's like 7 or 8 clean sheets in a row for Sunderland now as well. So they've really got rid of that annoying 1-1 habit, or so it would seem, and they're actually turning those games that would be 1-1 into 1-0 wins, which is massive. They weren't great against Oxford, but they defended really well, and their goalie was exceptional, because actually Oxford did play all right in that game, probably did deserve a point. I think Sunderland will win this one. Rovers have been in terrible form, and I'll just go one less, 2-0 Sunderland.
Fair enough.
Last time out, you did a 3-0 Sunderland, and you got it. It was like 3-0 at half-time, and I was like, oh, well, that's bound to score again, aren't they? And they bloody didn't.
Silence. Accrington Stanley hosts top of the table, Rotherham United.
Top of the table, but top of the table that threw away a win against AFC Wimbledon with a last-minute penalty for the Dons. You would think they would be seething after that result, Thomas, and they will be desperate to put it right against Accrington Stanley. But Accrington aren't the easiest side to play against, as Lincoln can attest. But you have to back Rotherham, really, don't you? You'd have to say they're going to be too strong, and I think Rotherham will win this. I think they'll win it by 2-1.
So since Accrington played Peterborough something like 4 or 5 matches ago, they've won every single match, including the thriller against Lincoln City. Probably the only thing stopping them from beating this Rotherham side and continuing the good form is that Rotherham have been really, really good. As you said, they threw away a win of the weekend, but they're still top of the league, be it that Coventry have a match in hand, so they're only winning on goal difference right now. But this is one of the cream of the crop versus a club that has stabilised, won a couple games, but probably are still not good enough to win this one. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 Rotherham win.
Southend United versus Burton Albion.
So, dear the Southend supporter that wrote into us to tell us why you're doing badly, a lack of money, young kids playing, etc., great. Go back and watch my review of Bolton for the first 10 matches of the season and see if that has any effect. It doesn't. You've had a poor season, you're going down, it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, we're doing predictions, and betting against Southend United is just free money at this point. Burton have been a good club all year. They were spanked by Ipswich in the last match. I mean, no one saw that coming. Ipswich finally turning their poor form around in dramatic fashion. But Burton are one of those clubs that are really solid. They always just seem to be chugging over. I think they're going to win here. It's not going to be exciting. It's going to be 1-0 to Burton Albion.
Well, one of the things, obviously, Carl Robinson's been bleating about is having to play so many games in a short space of time. But they're not the only side that has had to do that. And Burton have had a lot of games in hand as well. They've had a lot of Tuesday, Saturday games. I can only imagine they've got a similar size squad to what Oxford have got, similar resources. Probably have had to do things like Oxford have had to do, like play wingers at right back, defenders in midfield. And that takes a toll. They got a bit leggy against Oxford, and they'll probably get leggy against Ipswich, and I think that I don't know. I think this one might. I don't know, why do I back Southend? I can't. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to lose predictions if I back Southend. No, I'm going Burton win 2-0. Ignore everything I said. They're fine. They've got healthy, fresh, young legs, the young lambs running around, loads of money, loads of players. They're going to hammer them. And with that, we're going to move swiftly on into the break. And it's a time of the video where me and Thomas just like to say thank you to every single person that's ever watched any second of any one of our videos. We really appreciate it. If you do like the videos, please click the like button. That helps us out so much. And if you generally like the content on the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you subscribe, make sure you hit the notify bell. And make sure you obviously do check that you are still subscribed, because YouTube has a habit of taking some of those precious subscribers away from us.
Have you mentioned what we do to people if they don't subscribe?
Thank you also as well for commenting. Thomas will get back to you with any replies in the comment. It might be me once in a while, but I highly doubt that. Also, go out and check out Grandstand Betters. They're a phenomenal tipster website. We're really happy to be in association with these guys. All our videos are. Go over to them, win some money. They have great tips on a wide variety of sports, not to mention Premier League football. And so just go over there and win some money. That will do it for our little promo. Thomas, lead us into the next match.
Ian, I don't wanna, because it's Fleetwood Town versus Portsmouth.
Portsmouth have got to bring you up a little bit.
I'm going to say this now, and people are going to take it really personally. Because support Fleetwood Town, I don't like you. And I don't like this team.
Literally last week you said we've got nothing against your fans.
Okay, Fleetwood, I take it back. You're fine. Joey Barton rubs me the wrong way. I hate having to do predictions for them. Sorry, you may continue now.
What is you going to say a score?
3-0 Pompey.
As much as it pains me to say it, just like Wycombe have returned to form, but Fleetwood have returned to form as well. I think it's 4 straight wins now for like the COD army. And that really, really pains me. I hate to see that, not least because they're probably going to play Oxford soon and they're going to beat them. Pompey are in really good form, so you expect this to be a very entertaining game, and I hope that Pompey come out the right side of it. I'm going to say 2-1 to Portsmouth.
Pompey and Sunderland, they're interestingly intertwined in the league. Like Sunderland on 54, Pompey on 53. Even with Pompey beating Sunderland and going over them, then they've dropped points since then. Sunderland have picked up points since then.
There's a factor as well, and it's when you play Sunderland and you play Portsmouth, they're a big draw and they're a big game for a lot of these players, and teams will raise their game against them.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, these two clubs are hopelessly seems intertwined within this league as two clubs that have no business being in this league. As great as Rotherham's been, Coventry's been, for me, Peterborough, I'm not including Wycombe, go away. As great as those three clubs have been, it still should be Sunderland and Portsmouth going up at the end of the day. And they're finally playing a bit more like that, and you feel like both of them, by the end of the season, are at least going to be knocking on first and second. Even if they don't quite make it because of how poor their start to the season was, they have done a lot to climb up to within 3 points of first place.
I promise this one will be quick. AFC Wimbledon versus Blackpool.
0-0.
Thomas, the Dons had a really good result against Rotherham. Blackpool have sacked Simon Grayson. They're in absolute tatters. And I want Wimbledon to win. I can see Wimbledon winning this game. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Wimbledon win.
Ian's favourite club in the entire world, Rochdale, host, currently tied for top of the league and second on goal difference, Coventry City.
My love of Rochdale is going to blind me in this one because I just know that they're in such a good run of form, and Coventry is struggling so badly. Like, Coventry used to be a Premier League side, so they've fallen down a long way. And I haven't really been following football in a long time. So the fact that they're down there, they must be playing pretty poorly, and they must have some sort of joker in charge. And I'm going to back Rochdale with old, I can't remember the name of their manager, Barry Murphy or something like that. And so it's because they're flying, and I'm going to say Rochdale to win 2-0.
Where the hell did any of that come from? This was I had that coming.
Do they still have Darren Huckabee?
I don't know. You blindsided me with that sort of review. And
well, you don't know if Coventry don't have Darren Huckabee?
I don't think they have Darren Huckabee, do they?
Do they still have Froggatt, Dublin, and Keane?
Gordon Strachan.
Gordon Strachan. Fantastic.
God, it's going to be hard to stay on point now. Coventry City have been really good. They're probably going to win this week. Unfortunately, so are Rotherham, so I'll maintain a 1-2 for them. They've been pretty good against the bottom of the table. They are on fantastic form. Some reason Ian is just messing with me now with this Rochdale win. This is like when you predict Newcastle and Southampton to win every game for the first 20 of the season. Like, you're just opening the league up to me, and then I get confused and make a bad decision, and I say, like, Liverpool to lose. But I'm not doing that here. Coventry City will win 2-0.
Dale. MK Dons versus Bolton Wanderers.
Well, this one shouldn't take too long. Bolton are going down. MK Dons, I wish they were going down, but they won't. 1-0, MK Dons.
Yes, I am going to say MK Dons will win as well. Actually, I haven't done any draws yet, have I?
No.
No? Well, let's put a draw in that column. Don't have a lot to say about this one, as you can probably guess. Let's say a spectacular 2-2 draw will take place at Stadium MK.
To be fair, this is something we're actually really bad at. This is a league that has a lot of goals in it, and we never predict a lot of goals.
I just said Rochdale will beat Coventry 5-0.
But let me quickly amend the scoreline for you so it reflects that. So even if they do win.
Cut! It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey, Thomas. It's nearing its end, and when we get to the end, we have to overcome the final hurdle, and that final hurdle is the main event.
Ipswich Town versus OUFC.
And OUFC, of course, stands for Ossett United Football Club.
Ossett United.
Ah, okay.
They're adorable, but they got fangs and claws.
So, Thomas, my mood has changed on Oxford over the last few weeks. We're filming this before they play AFC Wimbledon, so if they lose to AFC Wimbledon, then I'm back in a bad mood again. But they played well against Burton, had a good comeback, and they played well against Sunderland. And I just have this little thing now. This February period is sort of, we've got over the worst of it. This is undoubtedly the toughest game we've got left in February. We move on to some more winnable games. When we get back into that feature of playing like one game a week, which we will be in March, players are coming back. I think Oxford are going to have a good end to the season. This one's going to be tough, and I'd honestly take a draw from it. I really, really would. Ipswich came back to form with a 4-1 win over Burton Albion. I think Oxford will win this game. I think Oxford are going to win it 2-1. We need a bit of luck.
So, coming into this week, I actually thought, well, this is great. Ipswich Town are on such a drop of form that all you need is that, what seems to be a lot of resolve and belief in Carl Robinson. You just need that to come through in this match, and they'll get a positive result. Unfortunately, with Ipswich coming to form and Oxford, it's not that they're not playing well, but it's like you said about a month and a half ago. It's the struggle for goals that really worries you.
Definitely.
I can't see him scoring twice against Ipswich, and I can't see Ipswich not score. I'm going to go for the reverse score, and that's not, again, my opinion on Oxford United has changed drastically this season. Like, I have a lot of faith in them as a team, but their slip down the table is definitely going to be detrimental mentally to them. Carl Robinson's done a great job, regardless of what you say, for raising the club over and over again. The players seem 100% on board with what he's trying to do, and a bit like you said with Appleton, give him a year, and a lot of football managers can implant their style of play on the team. Next week, Oxford United get a freebie. They get 3 points. They get to go play Southend United, who no one loses to. Seriously, no one. Don't do it. But this week, I think it's the last week of their troubles continuing. I've got Ipswich to win 2-1.
Just one thing you touched on, and this is something that's really gone badly for Oxford the last few weeks. I think we've conceded the first goal in like 9 out of the last 10 games or something like that, which has really hurt us. For a side that struggles to score, it's just, you know, you're giving yourself a mountain to climb straight away.
It's so important for a club that can't score to not concede first, because once you concede, your entire match plan has to change. Mm-hmm. And as progressively forward-thinking as Oxford seem to have been, especially with like a psychoanalyst now on the staff and how much they're working towards it, that first goal is so important. But no matter what, it looks like a good match.
Look, that's to say, we're mid-table. I thought at the start of the season would be a mid-table side, but we've got a manager who has improved. He's improved the tactics. He clearly cares about the club, and he clearly wants to be there for a long time. And that does count for a lot. And we're playing some pretty good football. So let's not be down about it, Oxford fans. Let's celebrate the fact that we're no longer playing the non-league.
Sadly, Oxford fans, not happy people.
We are a bitter bunch.
With that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all your support. Please get your grandmother to subscribe. Every number counts, even if she doesn't watch because she doesn't know how to turn her computer on. And with that being said, if you came here looking for detailed football analysis or just coherent thoughts, you're in the wrong place.
Dale.